system, the employer, the worker is tied with the employer. He has control of everything. When the worker, domestic helper, only for domestic helper. It does not apply to professional worker, only on domestic helper. Now, in this Kafala system, the employer controls everything. When the worker arrives, he has the passport, he has the, if he got the ikama, what we call ikama, the worker's permit, the worker will have to be, under the beholden to this employer. He has control of everything. He locked the house, he locked the room, everything. For domestic helpers, they cannot go out of the building, they cannot go out of the house. Everything is locked when the employer is out. That is the situation. Now, I do agree, I think we should support the ban signed by the President. Because this might be a big leverage for signing a bilateral agreement. In Saudi Arabia, they promised to abolish the Kafala system by agreeing in a bilateral agreement with an annex that they promised to the Philippine government. But the annex was not preferred. The purpose of the annex is to do away with the Kafala system. The only country, I think, in the Middle East where there is what we call a non-applicability of this Kafala system, because they had thrown out the Kafala system, is in Bahrain. In Bahrain, if you are an employee in Bahrain, even as a domestic helper, you can leave your employer. You can transfer to another employment. But not in the other Middle East countries. So, in my case, I think, in my view, this is a very timely meeting, because then many issues could be discussed that will be framed, that will be, in the future, be the subject of a law that will be passed by Congress to protect the interests of our domestic workers especially. It is very, very unfortunate and very sad that this happened. The case of Dimapelis. The people are now saying that we really have to open up this thing. There must be a reason why it has happened, in order to protect the interest and the welfare of the other domestic, other Filipino domestic workers in the whole world. The one thing also, because in the Middle East, in different countries, there is that non-applicability of the labor laws. The labor laws of Saudi Arabia, the labor laws of Kuwait, do not apply to domestic helpers. So, when these labor laws are not applicable, you are not protected by the international standard on labor. And that is the bottom line. There is no applicability of the labor laws in this country to our domestic helpers. Now, if we are going to continue in the future the deployment of domestic helpers, we should insist that this Kafala system should be out. Because no matter how we protect our domestic helpers, if this Kafala system will still be applicable in Kuwait, we will still, our domestic helper will still be locked in the room. They cannot go out. They cannot make any contact to the outside world. They cannot send letters. They cannot call. That can be done by the employer. And this happened to the case of Dimapelis. Dimapelis was hired in 2014. Now, for more than a year, as pointed out by the Secretary, Dimapelis was already dead. And this goddamn stupid employer ran away from Kuwait. He's a Lebanese, he's a Syrian. So maybe this is again another opening that we should never allow any non-citizen of that country to employ any domestic helper. Because then they are capable of going out. They will just go out of the border of Kuwait, go to Lebanon, go to Syria, and nobody can find them. So I think this is an opening for the House of the Senate to frame up legislation that will help this administration in protecting the interests and the welfare of the domestic workers all over the world.
Thank you very much, Secretary Mamao. At this juncture,
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
siguro lang for submission, kasi nabanggit kanina yung partial compliance. Yusek Abela, can you submit lang to the committee kung ano pa yung mga countries na nagpapadala tayo ng mga kababayan natin, pero partial lang pala yung compliance nila?
We will do that. We do so.
pero meron